Okay, so I'm going to go in here and set this room up, show you guys what we're doing. As you can see, I've got my 4 pieces of warm clothing, got the garb, the boots, and the brooma torch, and then I've got my axe, hammer, and knife in my inventory, and a number of food items. I do recommend having around 10 to 12 food. Usually that gets me through an entirety of a round without having to worry about running out. Now when I enter this room, the first thing I'm going to do is check to see what's going on in the room. As you can see right now, somebody's already started this minigame, so I'm going to have to world hop to find a fresh room. So I'm going to do that now, and once I am done, I will come back and show you what we're doing. Okay, so here we are in a fresh room. Now what you want to know is if the room has been touched by anyone. Ideally, it hasn't been touched by anyone. That's what you're looking for if you're going to do this solo. So you want to have 4 logs in each corner, no points on the screen, and 100% Wintertodt energy. If you have a little fire or a little pyromancer symbol here or broken symbol that like it's showing it needs to be fixed, that means somebody's either in the room or has used the room, and I recommend just getting a base setup like this. Now, once I'm here, I'm going to grab some concoctions from the concoction crate. I already have my tools. If you don't have your tools, you can grab them from the tinderbox, knife, hammer, and axe crates here. And then we're going to run around the room. So I'm going to start off by just running straight around the room, and I'm going to light each one of these braziers on my way. I'm going to light the first brazier, I'm going to run over to the sprouting roots, and I'm going to grab enough to fill the concoction bottles I have in my inventory. Your character will automatically grab them, so you don't have to click multiple times, just click once unless you get damaged by the cold of Wintertodt. If you get damaged by the cold of Wintertodt, you will need to re-engage before your character will start picking them up. Now, once I've got my first brazier lit and I have my concoctions, I'm going to light the second brazier, and because I cannot use the agility shortcut at the back, it requires 60 agility to use, I'm going to run back around in a half U shape to the other side. At the same time, I'm going to finish making my concoctions. You need the concoctions to heal the pyromancers. Once all 4 braziers are lit, I'm going to run back to the south side of the room. On either side, it does not matter, and I'm going to chop my brooma roots. The reason I have these tiles marked is because you don't want to be standing out here. If you're standing out here in this concrete area, you can get hit by snow. Same thing if you're harvesting the roots in any of these areas here. So if you're harvesting the roots in any of these spots around the tree, you can get hit by snowfall. If you get hit by snowfall, your character will get damaged, and if you get damaged, it's just going to make your game run out sooner. So you don't want to be standing in any of these red tiles that I've marked here now on the screen. Once I have those, I'm going to go to my fletching spot and fletch my logs. I turn them into kindling because you get more points. You get 25 kindling, or 25 points per kindling versus 10 points per log. So if you're farming for points, you want to turn all of these logs into kindling. Now we're going to leave all the braziers lit and try and get Wintertodt down to 20%. During this time of the phase, it does not matter if the northern braziers go out, you're just going to focus on keeping these southern braziers lit. You want to keep both braziers lit at this point of the fight. During this time, you can be feeding logs into the fire or feeding brooma roots into the fire, whichever you prefer. Ideally, you're feeding kindling in to maximize the points that you're getting. Keep an eye on your 2 southern braziers. You can see the northern ones went out. I do not care about those. I am focused on just these southern ones. If either of these southern ones go out, go and light it back immediately until the Wintertodt energy is below 20%. The reason that I fletch 1 tile away from the fire is because if you are fletching next to the fire and a snowfall falls and it blows the brazier up, you have to remember to move. But if you fletch here, you won't get damaged by snowfall, and you won't get damaged if the brazier gets hit by snowfall and breaks. So it's a safe spot to fletch. You can also fletch next to the tree. I prefer to stand closer to the braziers in case they go out so that I can relight them very quickly. I will only ever stand next to a brazier when I am feeding it with the kindling. If I'm not feeding kindling into it, I will not stand next to it because I do not want to take damage by accident if I happen to miss the snowfall. Another important note to make is that you cannot light the brazier if the pyromancer is down. So in order to relight the brazier, you're going to have to save the pyromancer first, and then you can light the brazier. You want to make sure that at least one of these braziers stays lit at all times, otherwise the Wintertodt will start to recover its energy and heal. Now once you have the Wintertodt below 20%, all you need to do is keep one of the braziers lit and keep the energy between 5 and 10%. And then you just farm points. And that's it. You're gonna do this until you get to your 13,500 points. Once you're at your 13,500 points, you will end the game by killing the Wintertodt and get your supply crates. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up now so that you can see what the entirety of it kind of looks like, but I'm going to probably quadruple the speed just so you don't have to watch me do the entirety of the fight, and that should be a really good example of how to go about doing this so that you can finish your Wintertodt fight. A good thing to potentially talk about here as well is the symbols for the Wintertodt fight arena. Now, if you notice, whenever there is a little crafting symbol and a little magic hat, that means that you have to fix the brazier and you also need to help the incapacitated pyromancer. If you have a little fire symbol like that one, that means that everything is going good over there, the fire is lit, the pyromancer is fine. If it's just a little log, that means that the brazier is no longer lit. And if you just have a little log and a pyromancer symbol, that means the brazier is not lit and the pyromancer is injured. Okay, now at this point I've run out of concoctions to heal the pyromancer, so what I recommend that you do is you light the brazier, you leave it lit while the pyromancer is healed, and then you're going to run back over, make sure it stays lit, and run over and pick your sprouting roots. Then you're going to make your potions and head back over to the spot that you were originally in, and everything just resets. So you don't have to worry about this too much if you run out. I just recommend that you light the brazier so that the Wintertodt is still taking damage while you're busy collecting your concoctions and putting them together. Okay, so now that we're at the end of the fight here, we're at 13,000 points, I'm going to actively try and kill the Wintertodt. So I want to keep this brazier lit as much as humanly possible, because during this time you are going to get points for keeping the pyromancer alive and obviously keeping the brazier lit. So at this point you can basically just feed whatever logs that you have into the fire, keep the fire lit as much as humanly possible, keep your pyromancer up as much as humanly possible, so that by the time you hit 13,500 the Wintertodt is dead. So just try and keep them alive, don't mess anything up, and you should be fine to just finish out the fight here. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, and you'll just see here I'm just going to keep this fire lit as much as humanly possible. Keep this pyromancer up, don't let him get hurt. Wow. You'll also notice at this point, because the Wintertott's energy is so low, it will do a lot of damage and it will constantly hit the pyromancer and turn out the fire. So you're just going to be constantly going back and forth between keeping the pyromancer alive and keeping the fire going as well. That is totally normal. And now I'm not going to worry about harvesting any roots or anything like that. Now I'm just trying to get the fight done. So I'm just going to stand here, and if the pyromancer goes down, I'm going to heal the pyromancer, and I'm going to keep this thing lit, and that's it. it should be dead here any second now. And you'll get a bunch of XP for finishing the round. And there we go. Wintertott's done. And that is how you do your 13,500 points. Now don't open this crate immediately. You're going to want to run back out, run over to the bank, put your items in your bank, and then open the crate in case it fills all 28 inventory slots. It's very rare, but it does happen, so just make sure you don't have anything that could potentially stop it from doing so, because you will get a message you need 28 spaces. Open the crate, and there we go, a bunch of items. Oh, another Brumatorch, how amazing. I do believe you can turn in the extra items over to Ignitia in order to get some burnt pages, that's what it is. So yeah, and that's pretty much it.